Today we live in a world that is too noisy. Smartphones, social media, and video games are everywhere surrounding young people. They make you always distracted, make it hard to focus on studying, and slowly make you forget the real values around you. Look around you for a moment. Are the people next to you really talking with you, or are they just staring at their screens? And what about you? How long has it been since you sat quietly and read a full page of a book without touching your phone? Can you live without electronic devices for just one day? You would probably feel restless, empty, and uncomfortable. I understand that pressure and confusion, because sometimes we are also victims of technology. But don't worry too much. The story that follows may help you find a way to control your mind, focus better, and live more fully every day. Liam is a smart and quick teenager, but his mind is always surrounded by the digital world. In the modern city full of bright lights, Liam's life turns around social media notifications and long nights of video games. He is not a naughty or lazy child, but only a lost soul inside his own room. In class, even when he sits properly, Liam's eyes look empty. Instead of listening to the lesson, his mind is busy with the colorful images on his phone screen. This distraction makes Liam's school results drop seriously. He slowly loses connection with real life and cannot focus on anything for more than 5 minutes without touching an electronic device. Liam's silence during family meals and his poor grades become a deep worry for his parents. Because of this, they make a decision that will change his life to separate Liam from the virtual world so he can find himself again. The parent meeting ended in a heavy atmosphere. The homeroom teacher sighed while looking at Liam's report card. He is not naughty, but his mind is not in the classroom. Liam is like a stranger in his own lesson. Even a small sound can distract him completely. Holding the report card in her hand, Liam's mother stood silent. She did not shout in anger. Instead, she felt a deep helplessness. When she came home and saw her son still the same, holding his phone, eyes fixed on the screen without awareness, she walked to the balcony and nervously called Liam's grandparents in the countryside. "Mom, Dad, I feel so stuck. The boy is smart, but it feels like his soul was stolen by the virtual world. I have tried everything, but I cannot bring him back to real life." Her voice stopped with emotion. On the other side of the phone, the voice of Liam's grandfather, a retired teacher, was calm like a quiet lake. "Let him come here to stay with us during this holiday. The city is too noisy. He needs to learn how to listen to himself." A digital detox plan was made. Liam would leave the bright world of video games and go to the farm with his grandparents, where real-life lessons were waiting to guide a wild horse that had lost its way. Liam's mother put the bus ticket on the table, blocking Liam's eyes from his phone screen. Her voice was firm but tired. "This summer there will be no computer and no games. You will go to the countryside to stay with your grandparents. It is time for you to look at real life instead of this screen." On the first day at his grandparents' wooden house, Liam's world seemed to collapse. There was no Wi-Fi signal and no familiar notification sounds. He sat quietly on the porch, his thumb unconsciously sliding on the empty wooden table, a habit that had gone deep into his body. The silence of the countryside did not make him calm. It made him panic. Liam's mind screamed for the strong stimulation from video games. He walked in and out of the house restless. His eyes searched for something bright to hold on to, but he only saw green trees and heard the sound of cicadas everywhere. For Liam, this quietness felt like torture. He felt like an addict fighting with a strong craving for information, completely lost in the peaceful nature around his grandparents' home. After a few days of seeing Liam struggle with emptiness, his grandfather slowly walked to the porch holding a glass cup filled to the top with water. He put it on the wooden table and asked Liam to sit across from him. "In the city, you probably never hear the sound of your own breathing, right?" he began, his voice low and warm. Liam sighed and looked aimlessly at the field. "It is too quiet here, Grandpa. I feel restless." My mind is messy, and I cannot focus on anything." His grandfather pushed the cup of water toward Liam and said, "That is because your mind is like this cup of water, but it is placed on a table that is shaking strongly. You cannot control it, so the water keeps spilling out." Liam frowned. "What happens if the water spills out?" "The water is your energy and attention," his grandfather explained gently. "When you let your phone, video games, and noisy things control you, you waste all the water of your life. So when you need it for studying or thinking, there is nothing left except an empty cup." His grandfather looked straight into his eyes with the sharp eyes of an experienced teacher. "Today, we will play a small game. Take this cup of water and walk around the village. If you come back and the cup is still full, I will give you an answer you have been looking for. Do you dare to hold the reins of the wild horse in your mind?" Liam looked at the cup of water, then at his grandfather. For the first time in many years, he felt a strange attraction from something that did not have a glowing screen. He nodded, and his trembling hands slowly reached for the glass cup. Liam took a deep breath and carefully held the cup filled to the top. The challenge began. The village road, which was usually peaceful, now felt like a maze full of traps. After only a few steps, the sound of a dog barking from far away made Liam jump, and a few drops of water fell onto his hand. Next, a group of children ran past him, laughing loudly. Then the strong sound of a tractor started in the nearby field. Every sound and every passing image felt like an invisible hand trying to pull Liam's attention away from the cup. He noticed that when his mind followed the birds singing or looked at the kite flying high in the sky, his hands immediately started to shake, and the water in the cup moved strongly. When he returned to the yard, only half of the water was left in the cup. Liam looked at his grandfather with disappointment. His grandfather smiled gently and said, "Do you see? The water did not spill because the road was difficult. It spilled because your mind left the cup and ran after the noise around you. The cup is your goal, and the water is your focus. If you let the outside world control you, you will always come back with a half-empty cup." At that moment, Liam felt a shock run through his body. He suddenly understood why he always failed in school. He had talent, but he let his water leak away through messages and useless games. Liam looked at his hands and for the first time realized something important to control his life. The first step is to control his own attention. Liam began his journey to hold the reins of his mind with the most important practice, meditation, every morning at sunrise. Under the old tree behind the house, his grandfather guided Liam to sit cross-legged, keep his back straight, and close his eyes. "Do not try to push your thoughts away," his grandfather said softly. "See them like clouds passing by, and your breathing is the anchor that keeps you in the present." The first days were a real battle. Liam felt itchy. His legs became numb, and thousands of images of old video games rushed back to his mind. But whenever his mind tried to run away, Liam took a deep breath, focused on the air, going into his chest, and gently brought his attention back. Slowly, the restlessness disappeared and was replaced by a calm feeling he had never felt before. Liam began to use this discipline in everything he did. When he ate, he focused only on the sweet taste of the rice. When he read a book, he turned away from all distractions around him. After a few weeks, Liam was surprised to see that his mind became very sharp. He no longer needed the stimulation from a phone screen to feel happy, because he had found strength in the quietness inside himself. On the day he left, Liam hugged his grandparents tightly. His eyes no longer showed the restlessness of a screen addict, but a calm feeling that was very different. He did not carry electronic devices with him, but a strong mind sat calm like a quiet lake. The biggest challenge came during the stressful national exam. The exam room felt heavy with pressure. The sound of papers turning quickly and pens tapping on the table was like a fast heartbeat. Suddenly, a problem happened. The loud sound of a drilling machine from a construction site near the school broke the silence. The students around him became restless. Their eyes looked worried, and some shaking hands even dropped their pens. In that chaotic moment, Liam closed his eyes for 3 seconds. He imagined himself sitting under his grandfather's old tree holding the cup filled to the top with water. He took a deep breath and used his breathing as an anchor to block out the noise outside. The world around him slowly became unclear, and only he and the words on the paper remained. Liam began to write. Each answer came out clearly and correctly like a smooth, natural flow. He passed the exam not only with knowledge, but with the power of deep focus that he had carefully trained. The exam results that year were not only numbers, but proof of the rebirth of a soul. Liam became the top student, surprising his friends and bringing great happiness to his mother. That night, he sat at his desk and carefully wrote a letter to his grandparents. Grandpa and Grandma, I kept my cup of water from losing even one drop. Thank you for teaching me that real power is not in what appears on a screen, but in the quietness inside my own heart. Liam's story is a wake-up call for all of us. In a world that always tries to steal your attention, focus is the most valuable asset. Talent may help you start, but only discipline can take you to the finish. Do not let your life pass like an empty cup because of useless distractions. Try to stay away from your phone for one day. Learn to listen to your breathing and control your mind. Success is not far away. It begins at the moment you decide to hold the reins of the wild horse in your mind. Start today with the smallest actions so the cup of your life will always be full of real values.